This is Drax number 3 from 2005 or 2006. Depends if you're going off release date or cover date. I don't know why anyone would go off cover date. I don't know why they even bother with cover dates anymore. At this point, it is just misinformation. This is a really great mini-series by Giffen and an artist. It gave birth to this modern iteration of Drax with the tribal tattoos and the combat knives. It is this issue here that introduces that new look. Our story takes place in an Alaskan town called Coots Bluff. I looked it up and it isn't a real place, sadly. What's happening is a spaceship that was ferrying prisoners to a space prison. It crash landed here, and now the surviving escaped prisoners. They have set up shop in this town, and they are trying to take it over. We have Pybok, the power-skrull. He is the de facto leader of this team of ne'er-do-wells. We also have the Mr. Blobby brothers. Not pictured on this page is Lobo. Another detainee on the ship was Drax, and he isn't in with these lads. He tried to stop them, and Pybok impaled his brain and seemed to kill him. Maybe Coots Bluff did exist at some point, and what happened was aliens invaded, and the government covered it up, and so we have lost all records of Coots Bluff existing, except for this one comic. There is still too many adverts. Far too many adverts. We do have a definite improvement this issue in that there is maybe 6 pages like this without any adverts. Since Drax is currently KIA, killed in action, we shift focus to this teenage girl who is written really well. I think a few years ago they brought her back and killed her off. She is called Cammy, no surname given, and she has developed an ET kind of relationship with Drax. She was the one who talked Drax into opposing the baddies, and now she is feeling a bit shitty because she got Drax killed. See, another double page spread without any adverts. They are nice to see. Still, too many adverts. There's actually the same amount of adverts. They just put a bunch at the back, which I do prefer, but honestly, put them all at the back. This is still too many, and it breaks the story up far too much. So eventually what happens is Drax, he comes back to life, he is reborn, and now he has this new form. This is in keeping with Drax's continuity. This isn't just a writer and artist coming along and forcing Drax into a new design or new mold. Drax's existence has been a long line of deaths and resurrections in contrasting forms. He was a regular human man, resurrected as a green alien man. Then he died again and he was reborn as a giant Hulk-sized green alien man. Then he died in this and he has been reborn as a slender assassin-like alien man. I still prefer Hulk-sized green alien man Drax, but I do respect this. It is a tremendous miniseries. Didn't get the single issues, obviously, but please read this. I encourage it. It is great stuff. I think a Drax series is a very tough sell. Drax is a good character. He was a lot of fun in the 90s. He has a sexy daughter. But even now, in his heyday, he has never been a marquee character. He's never been much of a leading man. Even this series, he's almost a supporting character in his own story. Which sounds like a criticism, but it is not. This is a great Drax story. And here is the second of two brief appearances of the beautiful bald lady Moongarden. This is the girl, Cammy, receiving a mental crash course on the deaths and reincarnations of Drax. The main one we are seeing here, the one that's given the most space anyway, is when Moongarden killed him in the 80s. In the same story where she mentally enslaves Thor and makes him a fuck stump. Brilliant story. Awful story, actually, but a brilliant story too. One thing that I want to note is that in the script, they point out that Drax is no longer green. Obviously, the colorist didn't quite get that memo, but I always took it to be that he is meant to be like a greyish teal sort of shade, like a corpse, kind of like a Zumba. And he definitely looks more teal than green in this. But after this miniseries, they full on make him very obviously green, with people calling him green, which always suggested to me that Marvel editorial never even read this miniseries. They just heard about it. Here we are building to this new reincarnated Drax fighting the alien invaders again. And the next issue absolutely delivers on that front. You get to see Drax tear one of their heads off and then crush it in the palms of his hands. But yeah, we have adverts bulk dumped at the back of the issue. And I just wanted to say that this cover here by Mark Stanley Lee, it was a dreadful miniseries, but this cover was amazing. Should have gotten Mark Stanley Lee to do the covers for this series instead of terrible Excellent Men stories with abysmal retcons. Matter of fact, just get him to do all the art for this. If this had Mark Stanley Lee on art, this would be... I think this would be a totally perfect miniseries. We didn't have him doing the art though, and I would still call this series a must-read book. It is terrific. 7 thumbs up.